Berlin steht Kopf, denn heute ist eine der besten Schauspielerinnen der ganzen Welt hier, um ihren neuen Film vorzustellen. Außerdem bekommt sie dieses Jahr den Ehrenbären. Ich glaube, jetzt wisst ihr, von wem ich rede. Hier kommt die Pressekonferenz zu The Eiserne Lady mit der großartigen Meryl Streep.
Willkommen in Berlin, Meryl Streep. Ich schlage vor, dass wir zunächst mit Fragen zu dem Film beginnen und dann dürfen Sie danach auch Fragen direkt an Meryl Streep, die unabhängig auch von dem Film The Eiserne Lady sind, stellen. Doch wir beginnen mit Fragen zu The Eiserne Lady. Dort ist die erste. Ja, ich versuche ein bisschen die Reihenfolge zu halten, ist auch zu verteilen. Dort. Okay.
Alessandro Giannini from Brazil. I'd like to ask you a simple question. The butterflies in your stomach still fly when you hear the winner is or something like that? Because, I mean, I saw you at the Globes and you were like... Oh. And,
shocked, I was shocked, yes.
Yeah. I don't know if it's an act or if you feel like that.
No, you feel like that. You feel like that. You know, it's very odd to be in the position where people say to you, "Oh, I think you're going to win something," or "Oh, I don't think you have a chance this year." And suddenly you feel like you're in a sporting event, and you haven't signed up for it. You did some work in a film that you're proud of, and you are hoping that people will go and see it, and suddenly you're doing calisthenics to get ready for Super Bowl or something. So it's an out-of-body experience. It truly is.
Die nächste Frage ist dort.
Hi, Mary Neary from Kino Critics.
Hi.
My question is to you, Ms. Streep. Can you tell me which was more interesting or difficult to play, the really powerful Margaret Thatcher, or shall we say the retired one? And could you answer in that really terrific British accent of yours?
No. My favorite word. When you're doing something that you love, there was nothing particularly arduous about it. There was a great deal of satisfaction and focus and hard work and long hours, but it wasn't hard. You know, it's hard to be in something where you're acting with an animatronic robot. That's hard. With special effects and having to invent a whole world. But the world was invented and made real by Phyllida, by Jim, by the actors that I worked with, and I felt real there, so it didn't feel hard. And what was the difference between the old and the young? It was just the challenge was in making the same woman age, because part of her life is very well chronicled and part of her life is hidden from us. And so to marry those two was a particular challenge. But again, Jim made it easy.
Next question is there.
So, zuerst möchte ich Frau Streep wahnsinnig danken für absolut tolle Rolle, die Sie gespielt haben. Sie waren sehr brillant. Frau Lloyd, wollte ich Sie fragen. Die Geschichte mit Margaret Thatcher ist eine sehr heikle Sache. Man weiß, was in diesem Zeitraum passiert ist. Nur zwei Sachen sind mir vorgekommen, das nicht mit Realität zu tun haben konnte. Erstmal, die Margaret Thatcher war völlig unbekannt aus der Provinz, wurde durch gewisse konservative Ecke vorgeschoben und hochgehoben, bis sie endlich ihre eigene Machtposition bekräftigen konnte. Was war ihr Ziel? Also warum erstmal das wurde nicht dargestellt im Film? Was war ihr Ziel? Wollten sie aus einer Eiserne Lady eine goldene Lady machen? Zweite Frage bezieht sich auf Anfang des Filmes. Also eine ältere Rentnerin geht in einen Laden, wo die Immigranten dort verteuert Milch verkaufen. Das sollte eine Form Bestrafung sein für einmal mächtigste Frau der Welt.
Okay. You should answer that.
Yes, thank you. First of all, 50% of this film is entirely the work of the imagination of the writer Abby Morgan. It's complete fiction. And the other half of the film is told entirely from Margaret Thatcher's point of view. So it's completely subjective. And we're only showing a very few moments, a very few episodes from her life. And all these episodes are being triggered by the events that are happening in the present. And the events of the present are that she's clearing out her dead husband's cupboard. So she's remembering moments where she felt particularly isolated and alone. And she's questioning, can she be on her own? So this is a very particular and not documentary point of view. Yes.
Next question over there.
Dana Grigorcea from Romania. I have a question for Ms. Streep. The mask was so fantastic in the beginning. I didn't recognize you. I thought, it's this old lady plays very well. I can't wait to see Meryl Streep.
Great.
Now that I see you from so close, I think you could have played also the very young Meryl Streep. The very young Thatcher.
I love Romania.
And we love you. I wonder what is when you get the mask for when you was put the mask on, when you were undergoing this maquillage thing. Were you thinking, was it for you a preparation for the role? Were you following the lines which were drawn on your face, thinking that you have maybe to laugh in another way? Or were you just closing the eyes, relaxing? Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, when the makeup was really astounding. It's a beautiful, beautiful job by my makeup team, which was Roy Helland, who has been with me since the first play I did in New York City, right out of drama school. So more than 35 years he's worked with me. He's done every film since Sophie's Choice, everything. And his colleague, Mark Coulier, who is a British prosthetics designer. So together they made 4 decades of Margaret Thatcher. And we did 3 different tests, and each time they took more and more away. So really, it's a great deal of me, myself, in a certain light. And you know, that was important to me and to all of us, that when the other actor, who really gives you your credibility, who enables you to believe you are who you say you are, that they look in your face and they don't see makeup, they see a person. And that's what this team achieved, and it was really wonderful.
Next question.
Hello, Ms. Streep. First of all, congratulations on winning the Golden Globe and also BAFTA, and hopefully very soon the Oscar. I have a question for you. You're always believably different in every role that you've ever played. It's complicated, Devil Wears Prada, and then the Iron Lady, everything. So what is your secret? By the way, I love you. I love your work. Thank you for everything.
Thank you very much. I always think I'm playing sort of the same person, which is essentially, I find me there, what's like me in this person, and I've been lucky in sort of tracking a number of different characters that have qualities that I recognize in myself, and I won't identify the ones that coincide with Margaret Thatcher's qualities, and neither will Jim or any of my colleagues. But I think, even though we look different, we come from different places, we come from different cultures, we have a lot more in common in our interior lives than we care to admit. We all have a lot more in common with Margaret Thatcher than we care to admit. Our humanity, we share it. So it interests me to find those common notes. And it's sort of my life's work in a way, just to find that.
Phyllida, was that the idea behind the film in a way, to show the audience that there is more of Maggie Thatcher or Dennis Thatcher and everybody in us than we thought, even when we were supporters of her, or even they were supporters of her, to make her, or both characters, more human?
Yes, I don't think we set out to say we're going to humanize a monster. That wasn't our objective, consciously. I think we were interested in the bigger themes of power and loss of power and the cost of a big life. And we wanted somehow her life to be our life, but larger. She had more power and fell, so her loss of power was greatly felt. But, that was our objective. We were interested, if the film is political, it's in putting an old lady at the center of it. That was our passion and our mission, to make dementia something that we were criticized for putting it center stage, but we wanted it to be spoken of.
Mm-hmm. And the reaction, especially in Great Britain, was it different, or was it dominated by the political opinions of the critics?
I think that my generation in Britain, we all bring our own stories of the 1980s to this film. And definitely for my generation, it's very hard to let go of our fury, our belief that she is a monster, and on the other side, on the very right wing, the idea that she is a saint who saved Great Britain. And I think that Abby and Meryl and I were all more interested in the kind of grey areas between, the ways in which perhaps her strengths were also her fatal flaws. It was it was an approach that maybe Schiller would have taken, take a great person's life, choose a few episodes from that life in order to explore the story you want to tell.